place, if you want to take your business from a place where you're responsible for everything, you're responsible for absolutely everything in your business, to a place where you have a team and your team is responsible for almost all of the work, and you want to actually make a business that can scale far beyond any kind of revenue potential or earning potential that you may have had in your previous work or previous job, you have to put systems into your business. Like, that is how you do it. Now, there are a number of systems and a number of ways to do this. Yes, AI can come into the picture. We'll talk about that later. And yes, you can do things like SOPs, of course. That does help your team. But you don't need to systematize absolutely every little thing. You don't need to put SOPs in for absolutely everything. That's not actually necessary. So let's talk about your business, not your job, but your business, and how you actually scale your business and figure out where to focus your attention so that you can actually start driving revenue faster and unlocking things in your business. So I'm going to look at our iPad here, and we're going to draw some notes. So first things first, obviously you want to think about your business as a process where certain raw materials go in at the start. And I know we're talking about services, but certain raw materials go in at the start. Things happen in your business, and at the end of that production line, your business outputs a product or service, in this case a service, that your customer purchases, and then you get profit from that. You have some kind of earnings from that. And the systems that we have to think about this in a certain way, because the systems that we actually put in place, it depends on where in that funnel, where in that process your business is broken. So if you think about your business like this, okay, you've got a, let's call it a pipeline, okay? And in this pipeline, you have marketing, you have sales, you have deliverables, you have deliverable / operations, okay? You have retention. And then you have finances. So if you think about your business like a pipeline of various inputs that have to go through, your business might look like something like this. Okay, let's think about it like a pipeline. And in this pipeline, the end result, the end goal is obviously profit. I don't know why I spelled it with an R. Don't know why I spelled it with an R, but here we go, profit. Profit. That's what you're trying to get. In order to get profit, things have to happen. You've got marketing. You've got sales. You have deliverables or operations. You have retention, or you might say customer success. Then you have things like finances, how you allocate the capital that you're getting. And at the end of it, you will have profit. Now, what happens in every single business, especially for transitioning from a place where you were responsible for the deliverability of the service that you're offering, whether you're at a larger agency or whether you're at one of the big 4 or 5 consulting firms, you were responsible for everything. And when you shift into your own business, naturally you start at that place. You say, hey, I can do it all. I'm very good at the deliverability. This is what I've been doing for years or decades. I know how to actually make this work, and you deliver great results. That's awesome. If you want to take it to the next level though, and you want to actually unlock your earning potential, you have to start implementing systems into your business so that you are not responsible for everything, so that everything doesn't land on your shoulders. And what happens in every single business is there are blockers that happen throughout this entire process. Okay. And these blockers stop the flow, or they restrict the flow of profit going through the business, right? You might have different blockers like this. And so if you can imagine that water is coming through here, and so you have water being all these drops of potential customers that come into your business, they start to come into your business, and maybe the first block that they hit is that right up here, nobody knows who you are. So maybe you're just working off of pure referrals and your network. So maybe that's the first problem, because everything else down the chain, you can actually handle, or you could handle more clients, but nobody knows who you are. So that first blocker is something that restricts your business. But let's carry on so that we can get this entire point. And so now as these customers come through your business, maybe the next blocker is sales. So you have some type of thought leadership, credibility, you're known, you're getting some type of lead flow into your business through referrals even, which is how it usually starts. But then the sales process, man, it kind of falls apart. You get on a couple of calls, maybe your first call, second call, but you don't have the rest of the activities that need to go into the system in order for you to actually close more of the leads that you're getting through your business. And on it goes. So you maybe get to sales, and then you can deliver, but you don't have a lot of clients to deliver on, and that's not really an issue, which is why there's really no blockers there. But then you get to retention. There's only a little bit of retention, and then your finances are a little lower because you don't have enough capital. And then at the end of the day, you just have a bit of profit. And so this type of flow where it's going through the pipeline is how you can start to see where your business is actually blocked. And so what we want to do is we want to focus on the major blockers in your business first, and then build the systems around that so that you are not responsible for all of the deliverables and you're no longer the bottleneck. There's actually a really good book. So I'm going to scroll a little bit down here and we'll look at our flow again. There's a really good book that I do recommend you read, which is called Built to Sell. Highly recommend that book. It's fantastic. Mark Zuckerberg actually reads that book and has recommended that. Built to Sell talks about this exact system. And so if we look at our funnel again, we'll just do it like this. You've got marketing, you've got sales, you've got deliverability / operations, you've got retention / customer success, and then you've got finances. And you've got all the blocker points, okay? So there's a blocker even for marketing, there's a blocker between sales, etc. You get the idea. What we want to look at, and the way I think about this when I'm working with clients, is I want to make sure that we're not just putting systems into your business in random places. That makes no sense at all. What we want to do is we want to find the areas where, let's say, for example, let's say you are very, very good at deliverability. And so there's really not much of a blocker there for you right now. But there's a big blocker in terms of marketing. So for anyone to even come into your business, there's not a lot of room for them to come through. Like, you have all of this potential out here, but So for example, what I like to do is I like to look at where are the biggest blockers in your business. And you may have a ton of potential. Let's say you have a ton of potential up here with lots and lots of customers in your market, but nobody knows who you are because this part of your business is blocked and you don't have any publicity. You don't have any reliable way, which is what a system is all about, to actually attract and target those customers. So you have no way to actually get these types of people into your business. Okay? So maybe that's the first blocker. So then we would look at solving that. And then once you have people coming through your business, because we have solved for some of this, right? That was a very big erase, but we'll work with it. You've solved for some of this, and now you have a bunch of people coming through your business. Great. Maybe sales is the next blocker because you don't have anyone reliable on your team to close. And so now you're getting booked with too many meetings every week, and you're going to have problems because you can't actually manage the deliverables. And so the sales is actually blocking you. And so now we've got to fix that problem, and on we go. And so what we have to do in order to actually make your business work properly and to put the right systems in place is we have to at first analyze where exactly in your business, which blocker is the first thing that we have to remove or systematize for you. Now, in order to do that system, in order to build that correctly, we're going to have to look at a number of things. And I'm not going to share them all in this video just for the sake of time, but this is something that we would go through. So we may have to look at leveraging AI to help you. We may have to look at leveraging team or hiring to help you. We may have to look at what we can eliminate. Right? And so there's something that Tim Ferriss talks about is really great. He has eliminate first, and then we delegate. I really believe in that as well. And so that's where you delegate to your actual team. And again, sometimes if you want to delegate, you can also delegate to AI. And AI can do it for you. And so these are the types of systems that we would build. How you actually build this system depends on what it is that you're actually doing at that current bottleneck point. So if there is a bottleneck, for example, in the sales process, we would look at what exactly are you doing to actually close those deals? How do you actually break down your sales process? What's missing from it? And then we come in and we actually work together with you to say, all right, here's how we actually put a sales system in place. And again, that sales system doesn't have to be this huge complicated thing. It can be done in pieces and in chunks so that as we go, you start to unlock more and more. Let's do it like this. We start to unlock more and more room for that flow to happen. Okay. So this is extremely important. And so then we do this, we apply to AI, we hire the right team, we eliminate various aspects of what we're doing. And now we can actually move forward and build systems. Now, in order to actually build the systems, we have to have a couple of things have to happen, right? We have to analyze now, in order to actually build those systems, we have to do a few things. Now, in order to actually build those systems, we have to do a few things. We have to analyze. We have to document. And then we have to, I don't know why my circles are getting smaller, review. And then we have to come up with, based on that, we come up with a strategy. We come up with a strategy, and then we actually implement that strategy. So we build your actual system. And then what we need to do is we need to iterate on that, because one of the things that I'm a very firm believer of is rapidly iterating on what we're doing. And so once you build a system, it is not good enough to just say, oh, okay, great. The system is totally done. I don't have to do anything. You build the system and then you go back. So you build the system, and then you go back and you analyze what the results are. And this is exactly how I've done it with clients that I've scaled up to 8-figure exits. This is exactly how I've done it with my own AI company. This is exactly how we build our own AI products. Is you have to put a system in, then you analyze it, you document any of the changes, you review what you're going to do, come up with a better strategy, slight modifications, and then you build the system. And you go through this cycle a few times. Once we have this, then this flow that we're talking about, where you have all of these blockers in your business, right? Sales, marketing, deliverabilities, etc. You start to remove or eliminate those flows so that at the end of the day, you can actually get more revenue into your business. And you can also save time, because once you start to remove these blocking points, you're no longer the bottleneck. You have team members in place, you'll have AI in place, you'll have various systems that enable you to actually deliver the high quality results that you want at the speed that you want, so that you can focus on the other parts of your business that require your attention. And there are many different areas that require your attention, or you can focus on other things in your life. And this is exactly how we build it. And this is how I'd encourage you to think about building systems in your own business. So I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.